All right, sports fans, welcome back once again for the Not So Official podcast. This week, special on location. I am at the beautiful campus of Stanford University here in Palo Alto, California, on what can only be described as literally the perfect day. Some wispy clouds, a nice breeze. It's gorgeous, okay? And if you never have a chance to come out here, I highly advise it. You will not be disappointed. Everybody's super friendly, and it is just a really great experience to come out here to the West Coast and experience some of the other things that the college world has to offer. So, but as you can see, I'm right outside Stanford Stadium, where the Cardinal will be taking on UC Davis this week. Almost my cupcake of the week, not gonna lie. But we'll get into that a little bit later. Right now, let's go ahead and start off with the ACC as UCF takes on UNC. The number 19 ranked Golden Knights, they roll into Chapel Hill looking for a big W against a depleted Tar Heels squad. And I got to think they're going to go ahead and get it. They're still a really good squad with a lot of athleticism and some really explosive players. UCF wins by 21. Put it down in the books. In a game, a lot of ACC games getting put in and displaced by Florence. This is one that escaped it. Georgia Tech and Pitt. Both teams are coming off beatdowns in week 2. It was brutal. Pitt is susceptible to the pass. Georgia likes to run, so it should be interesting. I got the Jackets going and walking away by 9. BC and Wake happened last night. BC looked very balanced with the running and the passing game. So this is your review for the Thursday night game. Sorry, I couldn't get here any faster, guys. But BC looked great, squaring off with the Demon Deacons, doing it both in the air and on the ground, getting their win in a big-time fashion over the Demon Deacons of Wake Forest. On to the SEC. First game on the docket, of course, it's going to be the 2 ranked teams with the number 11 LSU Tigers going into Auburn, squaring off with the number 7 Auburn Tigers. LSU seems to have found some sort of answers when it comes to a game plan with the balance of the defense, getting a lot of takeaways. This week they're going to be honestly, truly tested by Jarrett Stidham and his great arm. Auburn also has a defense that's pretty darn good themselves. However, LSU has not beat, is 0-6 versus ranked teams. Something to think about. Okay. I have Auburn taking it home. However, not quite a blowout. A little bit closer than the people think. Auburn +4 at the house. Okay, moving on to the number 1 team in the land. That rough and scrappy bunch from Tuscaloosa, the Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on Ole Miss. The big question is, can Ole Miss find a way to stay with Alabama and stay within a 1-point game? I feel like if they can get pressure on the quarterback and put points on the board with their wide receivers, I think the Ole Miss running Rebels, Bears, Land Sharks, whatever they are this week, should have a pretty good shot at hanging with Bama. But the champs are the champs for a reason, and never go against the champs. Bama by 7. Lastly, in the SEC is going to be the lowly Colorado State Rams taking on the Florida Gators. UK just snapped Florida's 31-game win streak over them. Look for the and they did it in Gainesville, by the way. So look for the Gators to be upset, not happy, and take it out on Colorado State. Gators by 24. They're in the swamp. Moving on to the Big Ten. We've got BYU at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's Taylor looks to make a follow-up statement to the for the Heisman voters as last week's impressive performance. One things you can always count on in Wisconsin: big linemen, great bratwurst, cold weather, and NFL running backs. So you can always find those in Madison, Wisconsin. Badgers going to be by 24, I feel. Okay. Missouri at Purdue. Now, two teams on opposite ends of the momentum swing right here. Purdue is simply struggling to get it going on within their program. Missouri is actually rolling very quietly along in the SEC East. I feel like that is going to continue, and the Tigers will go back to Columbia with a 14-point victory over the Boilermakers. Moving on to the Big 12. We have Rutgers at Kansas, and Jayhawks are riding high after breaking their their road losing streak. They bring that confidence to home and win a close one. Jayhawks by 3. Okay. Simply moving on, Ohio State is squaring off with TCU in what could be a very interesting game. Okay. This should be Urban Meyer's last game on suspension. Okay. Now, Gary Patterson and the Horned Frogs are definitely no pushover. However, Ohio State has got a loaded squad simply based on talent alone. I think Ohio State's going to give a 10-point victory over the Horned Frogs. Okay. So, moving on to another good game, USC at Texas. It is a far cry from what it was 12 years ago in the Rose Bowl. However, this matchup as college blue bloods is vital for each team to stay relevant in their own conference race. I've got USC making it out of Austin with a 10-point victory. Haven't really been impressed with the Longhorns this year, but we shall see we shall see. Finally, Boise State at Oklahoma State. No Smurf turf, no problem. The Broncos seemingly put up points like they're a basketball team. It's crazy. And they have a tendency to go on the road and make themselves feel at home wherever they are. Stillwater, not exactly a tough place to play, but not exactly a cakewalk either. This one might be a 100-point track meet. I really don't know. However, I'm seeing Boise State somewhere in the 7 to 10 range in a real big shootout. Finally, moving out to the West Coast. It's where we are right now, right? Starting off with San Jose and Oregon. The Oregons are going to get some highlighter infused stuff and play in the dark. And Phil Knight's going to have some sort of weird epiphany that it's just a uniform, man. But wouldn't be surprised me if they came out with reflectors and strobe lights on them. So San Jose cannot call anybody ugly with mustard yellow and blue. However, Oregon wins the fashion battle and the football game at least by 28. Fresno State at UCLA. UCLA goes back home after getting throttled by Oklahoma there in Norman last week. Once again, always count on a team getting their up-and-comings when they go back home and get things right back on track. And it's going to be at the Bulldogs' expense. UCLA plus 17. Conference matchup for the last game in the Pac-12. Washington at Utah. Huskies open conference play against the Utes. Myles Gaskin and Jake Browning are going to put up plenty of points for the Huskies offense, and the Huskies defense is going to be lights out. It's going to be a bad day to be a Ute. Washington plus 29. And finally, in the cupcake of the week, it's going to be Idaho State coming down just up the road here to Berkeley, where the Tigers will take on, that's right, the Cal Bears. The Golden Bears set to get inventive and get a little needed momentum against an Idaho State squad that, frankly, there just wasn't a whole lot of information on. Okay? So, they get their due up, and the Golden Bears get inventive and put some points on the board and get that old mojo back in place. I'm going Golden Bears plus 24. It may be more, maybe less, but I doubt it. Okay, Your boy went 10 of 15 last week with a cupcake of the week. Trump and jumping James Hurst. Big shout out to my boy back in Saudi Arabia. But I got you this week. So, watch. And as always, like, share, subscribe. As always. And who knows? This week, it's Palo Alto. Next week, who knows? Thanks for watching. See you next time around.